we're replacing the rear drum brakes on a 99 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. And I assume that if you're watching this video that you've seen a couple other ones and you're smart enough to get the Jeep up on blocks and the wheel off and the drum. I did have to beat on the drum a little bit. It was seized up a little bit on there. I just kind of banged on it and it just works off. It's not attached. First thing we're going to have to do is we're going to pull off this spring and this spring and get those off. These here, down here at the bottom, they twist off. You push them in with a with a wrench, put it in, push it in. Oop, got to hold it from the back. There's a pin going all the way through that's flat on the end. You got to push it in and twist it until it comes out like that. It's got a, and it just slips through here and turns like that in there, and you just got to push it in, but you got to hold the pin from the back because it'll come out just like that. It's being held in. You just got to push it in and turn it. A little bit different than on the other videos. So I'm going to take these off here real quick in just a minute. We're also going to take off the wheel cylinder because it was leaking on the other side. I figured I'd go ahead and change it while I got it because it's 12 bucks and I can change both of them. To do this, I got a really cool little spring release tool, and you put that bad boy on there, and like, you know, I got the other side to work, and I'm doing it. Okay, you get a pair of pliers and you just yank on and pull it off. That'll work. And it'll save you $6. Of course, if you know how to use one of these, go ahead and get one.
I can fix it.
Take those off, and take this one off as well. Okay. Let me pull those off in just a second. And then it all comes apart. Did you put that? Down. And it looks like I'm going to have to take this off. And have to on the other side. Ah, okay. Release that a little bit. That loosens it up. Straighten that out. And then the whole thing comes out. Go ahead and do that side. Hold the back of it. Push that spring in. And twist it. And twist. And twist. Come on! There it goes. And it all comes off just like that. Notice, real quick, this adjustment right here goes in the back of this brake shoe. So when you put it back on, make sure you slide it back in this groove right here so it fits flush against the back. Don't forget. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this brake line. It is a 3/8 inch, and I'm using a I don't know, this open-ended thing here, but it's rounded for the brake line, and it slips over here and it loosens up just like that. And I've already kind of started to loosen it up here a little bit. There's also two 3/8 inch bolts on either side of it, here and here. You will not have to take out this bleeding valve here. You can leave it in, but you might have to take the cap off. I'm not sure if it fits through the hole. But you have to take off these two 3/8 inch bolts as well that are holding the wheel cylinder in. Still taping?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so just take that off. When it's loose, you can kind of pull it back just a little bit. You don't have to bend it because this is a solid line here. And then flip it that way. And then this 3/8 inch bolt here on this side. And the 3/8 inch bolt on the other side. I like to stick. And when these two are out, the wheel cylinder should be able to come out. You'll have to knock it loose a little bit. Mine was kind of pretty corroded in there. This one's not too bad, it wasn't leaking. The other side was leaking, and I thought, you know, for 12 bucks I'll go ahead and just change this one out too.
Okay.
Alright, we're going to take this wheel cylinder off here, and you just kind of pry it off just like that. The brake line should stay, and this one came with it. There's a nice big hole here in the back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this all up and start putting it back together. So I'll be back in just a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the hardware off of here, a little bit at one at a time, and stick it on the new one. So this goes on here. Just like it came off. And then this one stands up to get on there. And then stands back down. Come on. This adjuster is going to go here, back in there. Now, this goes up here. It's just tags back in there. That sits there for a little bit. We're going to clamp the whole thing back on. Remember, this bracket brace right here goes in the back of this slot, in the back of this brake shoe. Here. One more thing, this piece will attach right onto here, slips right over the top of this, and then this will allow the spring to adjust. If you crank on it, it'll crank up there pretty good. All right, here's our new wheel cylinder, and it's just going to go right in here the same way it came out, and reattach the bolts and the brake line. So just reverse that thing, same thing that you did before. Alright, okay, I'm going to go ahead and slip that in up here, this adjuster, and then we're just going to, with everything mostly put together, I'm going to bring this over the top and situate it right on that brake cylinder and aim for this up here. This should be resting on the back here. Oh, I also, 3 places on each side that it hits. I sanded that down a little bit here, make sure it was kind of clean, but it had worn down there. So now I'm just going to kind of work on getting everything situated in there, and I'll come back. Stay on there a little bit more snug. I'm going to take my pin, slip it through the back all the way. See how it's flat there? And I'm going to line that up, push it into the hole, and tighten it up. Twist it. Yeah, like any good project that you start, it's always good to have a good work light because you're going to end up in the dark doing it. So this is an emergency brake job that we're doing so we can have another vehicle tomorrow. And it doesn't matter how dark it gets, we got to get it done. And you can go ahead and stick the other pin in the same way. Take that, line it up, and push it in. Alright, now this piece goes like this, up here at top. This one goes first. Remember, if you forget, go ahead and pull off the brake on the other side. I've got it off right now, in case you need to look at it, take a peek. This goes around, this wire goes around attaches here. Remember how it attaches with the spring. Comes up around the back here. Now this piece keeps falling out. And you're going to take your pliers and...
I wasn't filming.
You kidding me? Okay, first thing we did was we finally got this tensioning right up here. This kept coming out, so I had my wife hold this into the screwdriver, and then I just cranked on this, pulling it here to slip it over to stretch the spring down here. And once we got that in, then this spacer bar, which goes, that mine has a bend in it, it bends up and then down, so make sure you get the bend going up if yours isn't flat. And it just slips in with the spring on one side. Put the spring in first, and then if you've set this adjustment bar here in the back in the right slot, these will be flush here, so it just fits in there together. And I'm still afraid to let go of that. I don't think it's going to fall out. Next we'll put the spring in. Spring just fits in there. Just like magic, really easy. Well, wait a minute. And then the spring comes on here for the back one, comes on, the back side goes on first. Up, slip it over, slipped it up and slip it over. That'll work out more. Then the other spring, which you'll find here in a minute, that goes on the, oh, there it is. It's already on there. Okay. And we're going to slip that on there as well. Hopefully without me cussing. Hurt my fingers. Letting it slip. Okay, that's in. This is in the right spot. That's in. Nice and solid. Gonna go in there. I'm gonna clean everything off. Put it all back together. And then I'm going to have to bleed the brakes out the back. That's a different video from somebody else, because I don't think I'm going to do that on a video. There's a lot of videos out there about bleeding brakes. So bleed the brakes, get all ready to go, and you're finished. Okay, one thing I failed to realize was that this automatic tensioner has adjusted all the way out, I guess, to compensate for the brake wearing out. And so down here, so what I have to do is turn this so that it shrinks up. Here it's going to have to go this way here to adjust it in, and it actually goes backwards, so if you screw it to the right it comes out and gets longer. If you screw it to the lefty-loosey, it actually tightens it up. So you want to bring it back out to you to shrink that back up. And I had to take the other side all the way down to get rid of all the thread, and might want to make sure that's clean. I had it clean on the other side. And that'll compress bring these brakes pads in so that the drum can fit down on the top of it. Otherwise the drum is going to be won't fit on here, because and as your brake pads wear down, this automatic adjuster pops out to keep that tension on the brakes. You videoing that? Okay, and I probably should have done this at the very beginning as I was putting it on, but I didn't realize that. So next time, hopefully you can learn from my mistakes.